Close your eyes for a second and just listen to the city. What do you hear? You hear the hum of the HVAC systems, the distant screech of a subway on a rusted track, the constant low-frequency roar of 1,000 engines that never actually stops. It's the sound of a machine. And that's the problem. We've stopped building cities for people, and we've started building them as logistical hubs for the movement of capital. We are the cargo in a system that doesn't really care if we're happy as long as we're moving. If you walk through any major American downtown today, New York, LA, Chicago, you'll start to notice something if you look closely at the furniture. You'll see these leaning bars at bus stops instead of actual benches. You'll see those jagged metal spikes under the overpasses or on the window ledges of luxury boutiques. We call it hostile architecture or interdictory design. It's the art of making the public realm intentionally uncomfortable. It's a physical keep-out sign written in concrete and steel. But here's the thing. It's not just meant to keep the homeless away. It sends a subconscious shockwave to every single person who passes by. It tells us that the ground beneath our feet is a battlefield, not a home. It tells us that public space isn't actually for the public, it's for the consumer. If you aren't spending money or moving toward a job, the architecture itself is designed to push you away. We are building environments that treat human stillness as a crime. And when you can't be still, you can't connect. This leads us into a psychological trap that's unique to the urban jungle. You've probably heard of the bystander effect. It's that chilling phenomenon where the more people are around, the less likely anyone is to help. We saw it in the 1960s with Kitty Genovese, and we see it every day on the subway. But we usually blame human nature or callousness. I don't think that's it. I think it's the architecture. In a small village, the layout is circular. The houses face a common green. You can't walk to the well without seeing your neighbor's face. But in the city, the layout is linear and vertical. We live in stacks. We are separated by 3 inches of drywall and a fire-rated door. We've created a high-density environment that triggers a survival mechanism in our brains called sensory gating. Essentially, your brain realized a long time ago that if it tried to care about every person you passed on a crowded sidewalk, you'd have a nervous breakdown by noon. So you shut down. You put on your noise-canceling headphones, you fix your eyes on a point 10 feet in front of you, and you turn your fellow human beings into moving obstacles. The architecture of the high-rise, the windowless elevator, the narrow, fluorescent-lit hallway is a machine designed to facilitate this disconnection. It's a vacuum of eye contact. Let me tell you a story that perfectly illustrates how far this goes. It's a story that haunts every urban planner who actually has a heart. In 2003, in a government-subsidized apartment complex in the heart of Chicago, a man named Bill McCormick passed away in his home. He was 70 years old. He wasn't some hermit living in the woods. He lived in a building with hundreds of neighbors. He had people living above him, below him, and on either side. Bill McCormick's body sat in that apartment for 2 years. Think about the sheer scale of that failure. For 700 days, people walked past his door. They checked their mail in the same lobby. They waited for the same elevators. His mail piled up until the post office just stopped delivering it. His rent was paid by automatic deduction from his Social Security, so the system thought he was perfectly fine. To the machine, Bill was a functioning unit, but to the human world, he had already vanished. The architecture of his building allowed him to be perfectly anonymous. It provided him with housing, but it failed to provide him with a place. In a real community, the smell of the air, the silence in the hallway, or the absence of a familiar face at the mailbox would have triggered an alarm. But our modern cities are designed to minimize friction, and unfortunately, human connection is a form of friction. We've built a world where you can live and die in a crowd of thousands and never truly be seen. This is where we have to look at the philosophy of all this. Martin Heidegger, one of the most complex thinkers of the 20th century, had a concept called Dasein. It literally translates to being there. Heidegger argued that we aren't just things that exist in a vacuum. To be human is to be wrapped up in a world. We are thrown into a context. Heidegger made a massive distinction between space and place. Space is what architects deal with. It's math, it's square footage, it's 90-degree angles and steel beams. But place is something else. A place is a location that is imbued with care, history, and meaning. It's the hearth. Heidegger's big warning in his essay, Building, Dwelling, Thinking, was that we've lost the ability to dwell. We've become obsessed with the technical side of building. We build units for users. When you look at those generic glass box luxury apartments that are popping up in every city from Seattle to Miami, what do you see? You see non-places. They look exactly the same. They have no situatedness. If you were blindfolded and dropped into a Starbucks in downtown Charlotte, or a WeWork in Austin, or an apartment lobby in Denver, and then you took the blindfold off, you wouldn't know where you were. You are nowhere. Heidegger called this uncanniness, or in the original German, Unheimlichkeit, which literally means unhomelikeness. We are living in a state of permanent philosophical homelessness. We have roofs over our heads, sure. We have climate control and high-speed internet, but we don't have a home because our environments don't reflect our humanity back to us. They reflect the standing reserve, the idea that everything, including us, is just a resource to be used and moved. When you spend your whole life moving between these non-places, from your generic apartment to your generic office via a generic highway, you start to feel a thinning of the soul. You start to feel like a ghost in a machine. This is why we feel that weird, hollow ache when we walk through a shopping mall or a massive airport terminal. It's the feeling of Dasein crying out for a place to actually be. The irony is that we have more connection than ever before. We have fiber optic cables running under the streets and satellites over our heads. We are connected to everyone, yet we belong to no one. We've optimized our cities for the anyone. If a space is designed for anyone, it's ultimately designed for no one. We've traded the front porch, that magical middle ground between the private and the public, for the security gate. We've traded the public square for the digital feed, and in doing so, we've destroyed the weak ties, the casual nod to the grocer, the 5-minute chat with the guy at the newsstand that actually keep us sane. We've built a world that is mathematically perfect and spiritually empty. We've designed our cities to be efficient machines for the movement of capital, but in the process, we've created a landscape that is fundamentally breaking us. We are the loneliest crowd to ever walk the earth, wandering through a concrete jungle that was designed to make sure we never truly meet. So the next time you're walking down a city street and you see those metal spikes on a ledge, or you find yourself avoiding eye contact in a crowded elevator, remember, it's not you, it's the walls, it's the glass, it's the architecture of loneliness. We aren't just living in cities, we're surviving them. And until we start building for dwelling instead of just housing, we're going to keep drifting through these beautiful, gleaming, empty places, looking for a home that isn't there.